Thank you. That's a little better. Look, for years they've been telling us to think outside the box. We have about an hour to think on top of one. We have to, because this world is changing. BMW, what a great car. You think when BMW starts making driverless cars, they're going to program it to speed, tailgate, and cut other people off? Now, I heard that joke, and I thought, that's a cute joke. And then I got thinking about it and did a little fooling around on the internet. For 40 years, BMW's slogan, for 40 years, BMW's whole culture has been based on a slogan: the ultimate driving machine. Now, I don't know if it's 2 years away, 10 years away, or 20 years away, but driverless cars are coming. And here's a company has been belief system, its whole structure. Some of the people in the firm are saying, we got a problem. And some are saying, no, we'll just be fine. And you read business history, and the will just be fine. No. The challenge today for them is to protect what they have, the ultimate driving machine, and prepare and create a very different future. And that's tough. Anybody else have that issue? I'm actually not going to speak from here. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to pull that table over a little bit. I'm still here. Fellow's walking along the desert, and he sees Aladdin's lamp. Well, this is a table. That's heavy. He sees Aladdin's lamp. Reaches down, rubs it. Genie comes out. You get one wish, not three, one wish. He says, I want to do something for the world. There's this part of the world that's really got some issues. It's got North and South Korea. Japan's right there. And can you fix that? And the genie goes, whoa, that's tough. You got something else? Well, I'm in financial services, and we're dealing with economic turmoil and market volatility. Regulators are always breathing down our neck. Political division's an issue. We've got legal restrictions, generation gaps, technological change, robo-advisors, and we got the press. See, it used to be simple. We just had the press. But then they added the international press, and the television press, and then the internet press. And our clients have a problem that doctors talk about in their world. Doctors call it cyberchondria. It's like hypochondria, only it comes from cyber. It works like this. You wake up in the morning, and you're feeling a little headache, a little woozy, a little tired. So you wonder what it might be. And you go over to your computer, and you type it in. And the computer does a diagnosis for you. It tells you that it could be you didn't get enough sleep. Or maybe a little bit of stress in your life. You have a stressful job. Yeah. You're dehydrated. Drink some water. Could be it was a good party. You got the flu. Then it starts to get to the really obscure things. It could be a concussion. It might be a stroke. Stroke? You go to the emergency room. Do your clients do that? Do they wake up in the morning and watch all those news items and all of a sudden expect the worst? We humans really are hardwired to see the worst. And they call you, and it's a problem. They have financial chondria. Remember, we're talking about the genie, though. And the genie says, let me see that map again. Finance, you and your clients, how many choices? How much help do they need? People need advice. Robo-advisors, people need advice, period. Look, today's challenges are real, but I'll tell you what, we've been through worse. I've been through worse. I was 6'5", 193 centimeters when I started my career. We've seen bank failures. We've seen the panic in 1987. There was the Asian financial crisis, the Russian financial crisis, the dot-com boom and bust. Come on, the financial crisis of 2008, wasn't that fun? And inflation that's particularly hit this part of the world and other parts of the world so hard. And then Brexit isn't over yet. I mean, this goes on and on. Through it all, what hasn't changed? People need advice. It's only become more so, not less so. But we have to move ourselves up. We have to move this industry up the professional respect continuum. We have to move it up. And to move it up, it starts internally. Move it up for yourself. What do I mean by this? Well, if you read the studies of what professions are respected most by the public, doctors and nurses come out on the top of almost every studies. But while doctors and nurses tend to be in the 70s, where people think that they know what they're doing and care about them, financial services, it's in the 20s. How do we get it up? How do we get it up? What can we do to move ourselves up this continuum? And here's a test to see where you stand. You do it all by yourself. Take out your client list and ask yourself this question. Something very important happens in their life. It may only be vaguely financial, but they're going to call somebody they trust. Who do they call first? They call their brother-in-law? They call their lawyer? They call their accountant? They call a business manager? They call you. Now, if you look on that list, and the vast majority of your clients would call you first or even second, you're doing real well. If it's a little lower than that, you got some work to do. How can I get them to call that I'm the one they call to tell me about that thing happening? Yeah, but we still have a problem. All those sources are still out there. Client chondria, it's out there. And there's a medical issue called thought flooding. Thought flooding. Let me tell you what it is. Thought flooding is it's a lay description of an actual psychiatric problem. What happens to people who get thought flooded is they don't get their thoughts in a logical, sequential order. They get them all bunched up. Imagine somebody who has this psychiatric disease in the middle, trying to cross a major street on foot. And they get into the middle of the intersection, and horns start honking around them. And they have 30 simultaneous thoughts. What would they do? What'd you say, Elizabeth? Paralyzed. Yeah, she said paralyzed. Yeah, many of them would just freeze, absolutely freeze. Some would spin around erratically. Now, I want you to think when there's been a major economic issue, and now think of your clients. What do? Freeze, spin around erratically. They really need you. I'm not saying your clients are crazy. I'm saying there's so much out there that people tend to get thought flooded. And why is that a problem? You get to the end of your presentation, you look at the clients across the table, and you say, well, what do you think? We are asking people who are thought-flooded what they think. Your clients, have I mentioned, need your advice? Your clients need you more than they've ever needed you. But your clients have financial chondria. They're overwhelmed. They don't need you to ask them what they think. They need you to tell them what in the world to do. Don't ask them, tell them. And the words are so simple, it's embarrassing to tell you it took me 20 years to figure it out. Instead of saying, what do you think? Look at them and lovingly say, do you know what you should do? Do you know what you should do? And most people will say no or know what, and you tell them. Get out on a limb and tell your clients what. You have all the conversation ahead of time. You have all the banter. You know them as well. I'm not saying ignore their feelings. But in the end, tell them what in the world. You're the doctor. You're the advisor.